Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and just to be on the safe side, hello. It's Lynn here from the LEN English Network from a sunny, springy, bouncy Germany. Yes, spring has sprung, and it's March. Oh my goodness, where's the year gone already? And the March hares have been bouncing around on the fields here, which unfortunately I didn't get a photograph because they took one look at my dog and ran away. Leica's not very good at keeping quiet when she sees wildlife. And I'm not the only one to have noticed that it is spring. There's a little bit of a springy theme in today's live chat, but let's get on with it. Let's find out what's been happening on live chat. And if you remember last week, I think right towards the end, we said hello to Ice Cream, and Ice Cream came back and said he answered my question, or she, is your nick a pun on ice cream? Because they've spelt their name Icekreme, and ice cream, of course, is spelt ICE space CREAM. And so I kind of noticed, oh, ice cream, yum. And I asked, is it a pun on the name? And they replied, yeah, I love ice cream and donut, Krispy Kreme. That's why I'm ice cream. Isn't amazing? Okay, so ice cream, to start with, with a capital Y, and you could then put a exclamation mark, so it's yeah. Of course, you'd normally in an exam or a test, you would just say yes, Y-E-S, okay. I love ice cream and donuts, okay. Ice cream and donut, is that donut inside an ice cream? I'm not sure if you like them separately or together. Krispy Kreme, and I would say Krispy Kremes, okay, full stop. That's why I'm ice cream. Then you've put an exclamation mark, okay, I'll let you have that one, and then you'd say isn't, with a capital I, it amazing, okay. I've never tried Krispy Kreme, so I went, haha, I have to admit I prefer plain vanilla ice cream, and I've never eaten a Krispy Kreme, or Krispy Kreme, I'm not sure how you'd even pronounce that, although I think I've seen them at Frankfurt Airport. Now don't quote me on that, but I am going to go and look next time I'm picking anybody up or dropping anybody off at the airport. I'm going to go and have a hunt around. I might be confusing them with Dunkin' Donuts, okay, a donut's a donut. I then asked, have you ever made your own ice cream? And Zeb replied, don't you need a special apparatus to make your own ice cream? So not a special apparatus, a special piece of equipment. Equipment is uncountable, so is apparatus. So don't you need special apparatus to make your own ice cream, or don't you need special equipment to make your own ice cream? And I wrote, like most things, yes, you can use fancy equipment or a bit of elbow grease. You don't need it to make, you need a freezer to make ice cream, okay? Other than that, you can use a spoon and the ingredients, but you will need to do a lot of stirring, okay? And it gets really hard as it starts to freeze. I admit I have got an ice cream maker now, by the way. Zeb then said, okay, then my option will remain buying for an ice cream fix, okay? My elbow doesn't produce much grease, but I'm in if you need a food taster. Anytime you should taste hubby's ice cream. I love it, but it is mostly frozen cream with stuff added to make it tasty. The last one he did was I'm just trying to remember, I think it was cardamom and ginger, but it was lovely, it really was, and you wouldn't find that sort of combination of tastes in any shop, although I might be wrong. If you know of anywhere, do tell me, because it's my favourite flavour combination now. Okay, elbow grease, by the way, is just when you have to put in a lot of hard work to something. It's an idiomatic expression. So when you're cleaning, you should use elbow grease rather than chemicals, okay? Anyhow, ice cream came back, not in the same thread, unfortunately. So ice cream, if you do come back and chat with us, click on reply. Don't keep starting new threads. It's much easier to follow the flow of a conversation then. I recommend you to try Krispy Kreme. It tastes so good. Okay, I'd say I recommend you try Krispy Kremes. They taste so good. Okay, I'm a sweet tooth, that's why. And here, you're not a sweet tooth, you have one, okay? So you could say I'm a sweet-toothed person, or more naturally it would be I have a sweet tooth, comma, that's why, that's why I enjoy them, maybe. is what you meant. That's why it's okay, but you could expand it to say that's why I recommend it, that's why I'm recommending it, or that's why I enjoy them. Anyway, Zeb replied to ice cream. Ice cream? I don't think we have them in France. I've never seen this brand. It's not a bad thing, actually. It'll spare me the temptation and so putting on weight. Ah, okay. I'd say there, Zeb, it's not a bad thing, actually. It'll spare me the temptation and the risk of putting on weight, okay? I replied, now I can only imagine a tooth sitting and typing, which is that's what you put in my head when you said I'm a sweet tooth, like little tooth with little arms on a keyboard, typing with little fingers. Okay, next sort of topic started by Zeb was completely off ice cream. But maybe we could put it under equipment. And Zeb wrote, a bionic ear, a bionic eye, or maybe a bionic brain. Which parts of your body would you like to be bionic? Personally, I have a bad eyesight, a bad earring, and it's not going to improve. So I'll go for the bionic eye and the bionic ear. Okay, so here, Zeb, you'd say, personally, I have bad eyesight and bad hearing with an H. Okay, and they're not going to improve. So I'd go for the bionic eye and the bionic ear. Why I'd? Because you can't, okay? If you say, I'll go for that, then it means you will do it, but you can't do it because it's not possible yet. Maybe in the future you can write I'll, but for now you'll have to stick with I would. If I could, I would, okay? Now for the bionic brain, it's a bit too early, but I am very curious if the Australian government will fund the research about the bionic brain. I haven't heard about this, but now as for, I wouldn't say now for the bionic brain, I'd say as for the bionic brain, it's a bit too early. But I am very curious to see if the Australian government will fund research into bionic brains. Okay, it may depend on this bunch of scientists, the High Flyers think tank, whether they were convincing in Canberra earlier today to get the government funds their research on the bionic brain. So here, Zeb, you could say it may depend on this bunch of scientists called the High Flyers think tank and whether they were convincing enough in Canberra earlier today in order to get the government funds for their research on the bionic brain. Anyway, said Zeb, what about you guys? Who wants to turn themselves into a bionic individual, into the $6 million man? Hey, or woman, okay? Anyhow, I then replied to Zeb, buying a new earring should be easy, Zeb. I would go for the eyes. My eyesight is awful. Zeb replied, actually, there's no mechanical problem with my ears, but I seem to produce too much liquid which is located in the inner ear. It acts on balance and hearing. What seems to be prescribed in this case is a daily medication for life, not an earring. I was surprised to read that you would accept a microchip implanted into your retina. Absolutely, if it gave me better eyesight. What seems to be needed in this case is daily medication for life, not a daily medication. A daily pill, a daily dose of medicine, but medication is uncountable, okay? I replied to Zeb, if you saw me without my glasses, you would understand. And Zeb said, what would I see? A rhinoceros, a mole, or maybe a possum? Too many possibilities here. And I wrote, a bat, as in blind as a. So blind as a bat is an idiom, by the way. It means not very good eyesight. Bats can't see. They use echolocation. Tot jumped in and said, hi teacher, if you look like a bat, then you will become the Batwoman. And you wouldn't say then you just say you will become Batwoman. Same as you, I need to wear my glasses, so I will choose the bionic eyes too. Then I will have the eagle eyes. Okay, so I need to wear my glasses too, I would say. Not same as you, just I need to wear my glasses too, comma. So I would choose the bionic eyes. And then I would have eagle eyes, not the eagle eyes, okay? Or then I would be eagle-eyed, if you like. And Zeb replied to Tot, lol, now I can get the picture. Kathy in DC Comics is Lynn. I would never have suspected it. Still hard to believe. I can assure you I have no superpowers. And Zeb then also said, with eagle eyes, everything is going to appear magnified, and you'll almost be able to see behind your head, Tot. I wonder how you're going to perceive the world now. And I replied to Tot, we would be superheroes, Tot. Zeb would never be able to get anything past us. And Zeb said, I'd be better off being on your side then. Tot, Lynn, friend with Zeb? I'm not sure. I think you can be our sidekick, Zeb. I'm not sure what you meant by the last sentence. You get the question mark, I'm afraid. So maybe Tot and Lynn and Zeb as a sidekick, because every superhero needs a sidekick, don't they? Actually, we did a session on superhero powers once. It's in the forum, and if anybody wants to come up with some more superhero powers they'd like, it's actually good fun. Anyhow, Phuong Nong Vu came along and said, hi, I'm Nong from Vietnam. Nice to meet you all. And I went, hi, Nong. Nice to meet you too. Nong replied, my English is not good enough and I don't know where to start our conversation. Nice to meet you. And, okay, so here you'd say, my English isn't very good and I don't know where to start our conversation. Nice to meet you, full stop. Okay, now your English is good enough for a conversation because you'd already started one by saying hello. Continuing it, that can be more problematical, but you had already started the conversation. Zeb replied to Nong and said, hi, Vu Phuong, nice to meet you. I hope you're feeling better than your avatar, otherwise you may consider to get a bionic brain. Okay, so nice to meet you was fine. I hope you're feeling better than your avatar indicates, is what I would write there. And then comma, otherwise you may be considering getting a bionic brain. And Nong wrote, actually my name is Phuong Nong. I forgot to put my family name in the end. I'm not sure what a bionic brain is, but anyway, thank you. God bless. Zeb said, I'm sorry, I greeted you with your family name. Hi, Phuong Nong. A bionic brain would be a brain that reacts with tiny electronic and mechanical components implanted in the body. These components would interfere with the activity of your brain. Scientists say that it could help people suffering from dementia and Alzheimer. We always say Alzheimer's there, okay? I guess it would also help you if you suffer from frequent headaches. And Nong said, I'm not suffering from headaches. I find the picture quite funny, so I chose it as my avatar. You're friendly, thanks. Okay, so here you'd say, I don't suffer from headaches. Yeah? I haven't got a headache, that would be now. I don't suffer from headaches, that would be generally. Then you say, I thought the picture was quite funny. Yeah, I find the picture quite funny. Yeah, but when you found it, you could say, I thought the picture was quite funny, comma, so I chose it as my avatar. And then you're friendly, comma, thanks, full stop. Okay. Zeb said, you sound friendly too. Funny, I agree. Having human beings as masters can give you a headache sometimes. Do you have a dog? I'll have to explain to anybody who's not seen this thread that Nong chose a dog who's looking as if he's got a hangover as the avatar. And Nong said, yes, of course I do. He's quite smart and we love each other so much. Very good post, well done. What do you call him or maybe her? Asked Zeb. Nong said his Vietnamese name is Kun, literally translated in English, puppy. Okay, so a little space between the comma and literally, okay? Do you have a dog? Forgive me if I sound awkward. I don't know how to start a conversation. Love chatting in English, though. And then a full stop. Always end your sentences. Zeb said, you're having a conversation right now, and you seem to be doing very well. No, I don't have a dog. So it's no comma, I don't have a dog. Actually, I'm not a pet person, but I love animals. If you called him Puppy, I guess you got it as a baby. How old is he now? He's nearly 1 year old, said Nong. His mother's also my pet, but she was stolen. Oh, she's been with me for nearly 10 years. Is Zeb your real name? What does it mean? Zeb then said, I'll answer you a bit later about this name, Zeb. It's lunchtime for me now, and we're eating outside. See you soon. Nong said, thanks so much. In Vietnam, we're having dinner. Enjoy your lunch. Okay, very good. Enjoy your lunch, full stop. Okay, you put a smiley at the end, but smileys, as I said many times, do not replace punctuation. Zeb came back a little bit later and said, thanks, it was salmon tikka for lunch. Back to the name Zeb. It's short for Zebech. Two friends of mine gave me this name a long time ago. They said they could identify me as the character of the American Indian Zebech in the film Dead Man. The name sticks to me until now. So, the name has stuck to me until now. Do you always go by your real name on the internet? Asked Zeb. And Nung said, yes, I don't have any nickname or something like that. Okay. I don't have a nickname or anything like that. Or I don't have any nicknames or anything like that. Then, besides, I'd like people to call me by my real name. Okay. Rather than I'd like, it's I like. Okay. I would like if it was not possible, but you do like, it is possible, it's easy. So you'd say, besides, I like people to call me by my real name. Good morning from Vietnam. I've just woken up. Zeb replied, it's probably lunchtime now in Vietnam. Bon appetit, Nung. Would you prefer people not to use a nickname on the internet? And Nung said, it doesn't matter to me. Real names or nicknames are both fine. Then full stop, then spaces, okay? A space or two spaces after a full stop. I found it kind of weird because of the different time zones. Thank you very much for carrying on this conversation. Chatting with a foreign friend is indeed a fun experience. Okay, I found it kind of weird. I think you'd say I find it kind of weird, comma, because of the different time zones, okay? Zeb then said, I agree. For me, it's like connecting different time zones together. I love it. How do you usually get to interact and communicate with people in English, if not through the internet and chat rooms? Asked Zeb. And Nung said, actually, I haven't chatted with a foreigner before. This is my first time. My teacher is American. He's the only one I used to practice English with. And then you'd say, full stop. Okay, again, always end your sentences, even at the actual end of what you're writing. Don't forget to end it properly, okay? I used to practice English with is he still in your life or not, Wong? That's not clear in your text. My teacher was American. He was the only one I used to practice English with. Or my teacher is American. He's the only one I practice English with, okay? And I should be always capital I, okay? Zeb then said, I think I'd prefer to be your international friend rather than a foreigner. Is it your American teacher who encouraged you to start practicing your English with others? And Fong said, yes, he did. I'm going to graduate in the next 3 months, but my English is still crazily bad. I've searched some chat room to make friend with people around the world. Okay, so, yes, he did. That's fine. I'm going to graduate within the next 3 months, comma, but my English is still not good enough. Okay, full stop. I have searched for some chat rooms to make friends with people around the world, and I found one. Because then you go on, I found one, but people there seemed to be quite rude. Okay, so you'd say, I have searched for some chat rooms to make friends with people around the world, and I found one, but the people there seemed to be quite rude. And then you say, they kept asking my Facebook. Okay, they kept asking me for my Facebook ID. And then you wrote, very disappointed them. You would write, I was very disappointed, full stop. Okay, no need to say then, we know what you're talking about, okay? I replied, we have a Facebook account, but to be honest, we only use it for sharing silly pictures of cats. Actually, there are some fun things on Facebook, but yes, sometimes people can be a bit obsessed about it. Okay. And we got a... Oh, look, you've posted the same thing twice. I also replied to the second time you posted that same thing. Your written English seems very good, Nung. What makes you think it's bad? And Nung said, I think it's not smooth. I want to talk or write like an English native speaker. Okay. Well, I'm sure you can do better than that, Nung. And what I'd write there, it's not smooth enough for me. Okay. I want to be able to talk or write like an English native speaker. When you saw my writing, I'm sure you knew I'm an ESL student. Okay, slangs or stuff like that in English always drive me crazy. Okay, so not slangs. You can say slang words or just slang. Slang is uncountable, okay? So you'd say slang and stuff like that in English always drives me crazy. And you said, once I went on a conversation with an American boy, text chatting. He bombarded me with OMG, IDK, ASL, etc., which I found a bit crazy. Okay, so once I had a conversation with an American boy, text chatting. He bombarded me with OMG, IDK, ASL, etc., full stop after etc., just to show it's a shortened form, which I, capital I, found a bit crazy. To me, being fluent in English is still a very, very long way ahead. And I wrote, when you chat in text, you'll get text chat. It's true. But I agree with you. I mean, we tend not to use the abbreviations much here, but you still need to know them. There's a whole page. I'll send you the link for the page on abbreviations in English, because people are using them. It's changing the language. Nong also said, to be honest, after 5 days chatting with native speakers, especially the young ones, I kind of like the way they shorten each word or phrase. Exactly. So capital I, remember. Languages always keep evolving. I'm very grateful to you and Zeb. You two are indeed inspiring teachers. Okay, Zeb then said, once a bot, now under the suspicion of being acquainted to teaching. Why do people call me names? And she said to Nong, I'm a learner of English and I enjoy interactions with you. Okay, and I enjoy interactions like you. Okay, so I enjoy interacting like you, comma, like you. Okay. Zeb then also said, glad to hear that this bad experience online didn't stop you. How come you think that your English is crazily bad if your only interlocutor so far has been your American teacher? Yeah, and this American boy, Zeb. Nong said, I can understand my teacher when he speaks slowly. I didn't have more chances to talk to him because he has hundreds of students like me. Okay, so I haven't had more chances to talk with him because he has hundreds of students like me. I could never figure out what the characters were talking about in American films without subtitles, but learning is a lifelong process. I'm still trying, though. Okay, so here I'd say I could never figure out what the characters were talking about in American films without subtitles, comma, but learning is a lifelong process, full stop. I'm still trying, though, full stop. Okay. Tot came in and said, Hi Fwong Nong, nice to meet you. My name is Tot. Yes, it is a lifelong process for learning English. Okay, so you'd say yes, learning English is a lifelong process. Agree with Zeb. We can learn fast in an English-speaking environment. Okay, so here you'd say I agree with Zeb. We can learn faster in an English-speaking environment. Okay, then you wrote, but I don't have that chance right now. So same as you, I'll watch the American TV programs and movies with English subtitles and try to learn the native English. Ooh, okay. Like you could say, I don't have that chance right now, comma. So, I'll watch American TV programs and movies with English, capital E, subtitles too, and try to learn native English. Full stop, yep, that's fine. I hope one day I can enjoy them without the subtitles. Yay, that's something to aim for. Way to go, Tot, said Twong. Good luck with our English. Exactly. Zeb asked Tot, what do you do to practice speaking? And Tot said, now I don't have any chance to practice speaking in English. Maybe I can talk to my Indian yoga masters, but I'm too shy to speak with them. Or I can try the shadow speaking at home when I'm watching the news. Zeb asked, haven't you ever tried to join a voice chat, as you did here for text chatting? And Tot said, no, because I don't know here have a voice chat activity. Please advise how to join it, thanks. Okay. Okay, so you'd say, Tot, no, because I didn't know that there's the chance to have voice chat here, or there's the chance to chat with voice here. Please advise me how to join it, thanks. Zeb replied, this is the link to the LEN calendar. It shows the different events run by the LE network. Hopefully you'll be able to test them out. And she also asked, are there sessions that would fit your time zone and schedule, Tot? My listening and speaking abilities improved drastically when I spent some time in an English-speaking country and lived with locals, except that, well, now I sound more French than ever before. It's mind-boggling. What do you want to do with your English in the future? Does it have anything to do with interacting with native English speakers? And Nong came along and said, I want to become an interpreter and a flight attendant. My job will definitely involves a lots in English using. Okay, so my job will definitely involve using English a lot. Okay, thank you and have a nice day. See you, said Nong. Zeb replied, I can hardly see any common grounds between a flight attendant and interpreter. What will you make choose? What will you make choose one rather than the other? Okay, I think you mean what will make you choose one rather than the other. You're very nice, Seb, said Nong. I want to become an flight attendant because in Vietnam it's a well-paid job and you also have chances to go travelling for free. Okay, so you'd say here, I want to become a flight attendant, comma, because in Vietnam it's a well-paid job and you also have the chance to go travelling for free. I love travelling, you said, but I'm learning to become an interpreter. It's my major at school. Okay, so I love travelling, comma, but without the capital B, just a small b, I'm learning, so I, capital I, to become an interpreter. It's my major at school. Then you carried on to say, I love languages and want to learn as many languages as I can. I prefer interpreter, of course, but right now I'm not qualified for either of these two jobs. I'm not pretty and talented enough, just dreaming. Okay, so you'd say, I'd prefer to be an interpreter, of course, comma, but right now I'm not qualified for either of these two jobs. Then you could say, I'm not pretty or talented enough. I'm just dreaming. Okay, and full stop at the end. Okay, at the end of your sort of posts, you're forgetting to put in the right punctuation. So don't forget, right at the end, think about punctuation too. Zeb replied, methinks that there will be enough people trying to make you think that you're not pretty and talented enough without you playing against your own team. Competition is tough. If you don't believe in yourself, many people will comfort you with that idea. I think that's very wise words from Zeb there, Nong. I hope you're listening. You said that you'll graduate in the next 3 months. If you don't mind me asking, what are the next steps after your graduation? And Nong said, right now I'm trying as hard as I can to be healthier and prettier so that in the next September I can be confident enough to apply for a flight attendant job. So here you'd say, right now I'm trying as hard as I can to get healthier and prettier so that by next September I will be confident enough to apply for a flight attendant's job. Okay, for a job as a flight attendant, I would say there. I'm also trying to improve my languages to be qualified enough to become an interpreter. If my application for flight attendant was turned down, I would find another job involving in using English or Chinese, a tour guide maybe. Okay, so you'd say here, if my application for becoming a flight attendant is turned down, I will find another job involving the use of English or Chinese, as a tour guide maybe. Full stop. I dare not dream of becoming an interpreter right after graduating. I need to learn more and get more experience. Okay. Again, capital I. Okay. And then you'd said, right now, just keep learning. Yeah, and again, you've missed the punctuation off the end of your post, so there it would be a full stop. Okay. You could say, right now, I'll just keep learning. It's like a promise to yourself. I will. I''L. Zeb replied, and I knew this would coming. I could have guessed this was going to come. Prettier and healthier, I think I get it now. You mean complying with the physical restrictions they impose on you to be a flight attendant. Tough. Yeah, very tough. And totally useless because, believe me, if any airlines are listening now, we don't care if they're pretty or not. We just want people who are kind and nice and thoughtful. Stop this prettiness nonsense, Lark. I want somebody competent and they can look like Quasimodo for all I care, as long as they're nice to me. When will they learn, eh? Anyhow, that's my rant over for today. So, Zeb carried on, but I don't get it about starting to work as an interpreter after graduating. Why can't you? For me, becoming an interpreter comes with experience, not a diploma. The earlier you start, the better. But maybe there is again something I don't seem to be able to grasp. Okay, the earlier you start, the better, comma, but maybe there's something I don't grasp yet. Okay, that's very true. We don't know what the requirements are, where Nong is. That's why I very, very rarely give any kind of advice on careers, because I don't know the environment the person's living and working in. Anyhow, that was that for that conversation, but it was a great conversation. Well done to Nong, to Zeb and to Tot. Jola Karwat came along and said hello from Poland, and Joe from Portugal, we heard about him last week, if you remember. Hello from Portugal, replied. I replied boringly, hi Jola, and Zeb replied, hi Yola, Your Discuss bio says that you're an English teacher. No workbook exercises, please. And Joe said, I agree with you, Zeb. Cowards. Jola, you disappeared. Did that scare you off? Are you listening to this? Come back and say, don't worry, I'm here to help you. Not. It's like the speech from Julius Caesar. I am here to help you, not to test you. And Ajus came along and said, hello, friends. Oh, shouted, hello, friends. Ajus. All capitals is shouting. Okay, so capital H, E-double-L-O, F-R-I-E-N-D-S, full stop. Yeah, that's the only capital you need is at the beginning of your sentence there. Joe said, hello, Ajus, how are you? And Zeb said, hi, Ajus, is spring in the air where you are? I told you spring was coming up. Evan Abt came along, for some reason said, I love Poland too much. Okay, I love Poland too much, full stop. That'd be okay, but Zeb was a bit confused, and I'm a bit confused too. Zeb said, hi, Evan, you love Poland too much? Does it mean that you shouldn't love it that much? Evan also said, hi, I love Poland. This photo was in Poland, Szczecin, Podgorna 26. Oh, I've no idea if I've said that right. Okay, so you say, I love Poland, full stop. Capital T, this photo was taken in Poland, comma, Szczecin, comma, Podgorna 26, full stop. No idea what that means. I hope it's not your address. Then we got a bit more information from Evan, thank goodness. Said, I am Evan from Iraq. And then that would be a full stop, Evan. Hi, everybody here. So hi, capital H. Everybody is one word. Here, full stop. Okay. And also wrote, hello, I'm Evan from Iraq. And I replied, hello, Evan. So again, when you're joining a conversation, be it in this forum or other forums or networks or chat rooms, try to do the reply thing rather than starting a new discussion each time. You will get used to it if you stick around, but it is important for making conversations flow. And that means people are more likely to reply to you. Okay, so here we go. We had a lovely post from Oana. Hi, Oana. Lovely to see you. And she wrote, officially today is the first day of spring in Romania. This day is called Martisor Day, which is one of the oldest and popular traditions of Romania. So here you'd say one of the oldest and most popular traditions of Romania. And she gave a lovely link to blog about Bucharest. Oana then said, so wish you good luck in everything you do. What about you guys? Do you have some traditions for this day? And Zeb replied, I've got to skip around a bit here because the replies, as happens in Discuss, are a bit out of sync. Zeb replied, the first time I heard that spring or autumn in the South Hemisphere starts March 1st in some countries, I was surprised. Okay. I was surprised. Sorry, you have put a full stop there. So here you'd say, the first time I heard that spring or autumn in the Southern Hemisphere started in March, or started on March 1st in some countries, I was surprised. Okay. So there's no need for the comma between March and 1st. Yeah, starts on March 1st in some countries, I was surprised. So then Zeb carries on. I had always thought that the starting of seasons were linked to solstices and equinoxes. Oh, thank you for the tongue twister. So you'd say, I'd always thought that the start of seasons was linked, or the start of the seasons was linked to solstices and equinoxes. Gosh. In France, the first day of spring is on March 20th or 21st, which is the vernal equinox. I don't think that we have any special tradition that day, but after this date, days get longer. Hurrah! So you'd say, I don't think that we have any special traditions on that day, but after this date, days get longer. Hurrah! Maybe you're right, Zeb, said Oana. Maybe it's just about traditions, not about the calendar. I just know in Romania, 1st of March with Martisor is called Herald Spring, okay? Is called the Herald of Spring, or it heralds the spring. Yeah, to herald is a verb, yeah? Maybe you mean it's a direct translation, I'm not sure. Okay, with that name, Herald Spring, said Zeb, it means that Romania is one of the early messenger to announce that nature is waking up. It looks like spring is here today. Okay, that's lovely, Zeb. So with that name, Herald Spring, it means, or it implies, it would be better there, I think. It implies that Romania is one of the early messengers announcing that nature is waking up. And I replied to Oana, I'm with Zeb, Oana. For me, spring starts on March 20th. Although it was St. David's Day yesterday, it will be British Pie Week on Monday, and we have Pancake Day, etc., etc., etc. this month. So there's plenty to celebrate, and I put a post to the diary page for March this year. We do celebrate a lot, but not the first day of March. It's not one that we do. That's St. David's Day. I hope you enjoy your special day, I said. I've heard of little dolls called Martinitsa. Is that part of your spring tradition? And Oana said, thank you, Lynn. You do have many days to celebrate on this month. It's very nice. So you do have a lot of days to celebrate during this month. Not on this month, on a day, but in a month or during a month. Okay? It's very nice. Regarding these little dolls, I never heard about. Okay, regarding these little dolls, I had never heard of them. Okay? Then full stop, that's fine. Maybe there are in a other region of Romania. I should be ashamed. Okay, so maybe they are from another region of Romania. I should be ashamed. No need to be ashamed. I wrote, hi Oana, no need to feel ashamed. I'm not even sure if they are a Romanian custom or not. I just remember someone telling me about them on the old forum. I like the idea of Baba Dokia. Could you tell me more about her? And very kindly, Oana did tell me more about her. So, and I think it came from Wiki. I recognise Wiki quotes. Always, if you do quote from Wiki, they don't mind, but it's nice to always give your source, okay? Anyhow, I'll read it out anyway, because I think that's why Oana posted it. So, hi Lynn, Oana wrote. In Romanian mythology, Baba Dokia, or the Old Dokia, is a figure identified with the return of spring. She is sometimes imagined as an old woman who insults the month of March when she goes out with a herd of sheep or goats. Her name probably originates from the Byzantine calendar, which celebrates the 2nd century martyr saint Eudokia of Heliopolis, on March 1st. The Romanian Dokia personifies mankind's impatience in waiting for the return of spring. Baba Dokia has a son called Dragomir or Dragobit, who's married. Dokia ill-treats her daughter-in-law by sending her to pick up berries in the forest at the end of February. Okay, you wouldn't pick up berries, you'd just pick them. You'd only pick them up if they'd fallen on the floor, and then you probably wouldn't want them because they'd be full of worms. Okay, so by sending her to pick berries in the forest at the end of February. God appears to the girl as an old man and helps her in her task. When Dokia sees the berries, she thinks that spring has come back and leaves for the mountains with her son and her goats. She is dressed with 12 lambskins. Okay, she's dressed in 12 lambskins, but it rains on the mountain and the skins get soaked and heavy. Dokia has to get rid of the skins, and when frost comes, she perishes from the cold with her goats. Her son freezes to death with a piece of ice in his mouth as he was playing the flute. Well, what a cheerful story. I got in trouble on the magazine for posting a story from this area of the world, and I defended it by saying, not all stories have happy endings. Here's another one. Zeb carried on the conversation as well. Okay, so Oana replied to Zeb as well. Did my Martisor Day make you feel like spring is already here? It isn't because you really need it. You are always full of life. Ah, that's lovely, Oana. And Zeb said, being full of life is tiring for some people, Oana. With spring in the air, they might have a rest. I'll spend more of my energy and time outside. And Oana said, it's good if time permits you that. In Italy, it's raining. Oh, never mind. Your good luck wishes for Martisor Day reached Paris, said Zeb. We had blue skies all day long, and it was a real pleasure to get back inline skating along the avenues of Paris. Okay, so we had blue skies all day long, and it was a real pleasure to get back to inline skating along the avenues of Paris. I'm glad for that, said Oana. So, not I'm glad for that. I'm glad to hear that. is what you'd say. Yeah. Oh, I'm glad to hear that. That's nice. And then I will do it more often for you all if it's working, lol. Okay. I wasn't sure if you meant inline skating in Paris, but I think you mean the wishing the nice weather. It's always better to wish nice things for other people, you know. It's much more likely to happen. Never wish nice things for yourself. Wish nice things for other people and hope that they'll reciprocate, okay? So I'll do it more often for you all, comma, if it's working, lol. Aladdin came along and said, in Egypt, the spring season start from March 21st. We have a special festival for spring season called Sham el-Nassim. It's an official holiday here. So thank you, Aladdin. I love hearing about these festivals. So he'd say, in Egypt, spring starts from March 21st, okay? And then the rest of it was fine. You could say for the spring season or for the spring. We have a special festival in spring called Sham el-Nassim. It's an official holiday. So Zeb replied, I read that the name of this festival means breathing the breeze. I like that name. What happens during the festival, Aladdin? Could you describe it for us? And Aladdin said, you've got the meaning right, Zeb, but we are actually breathing other things. Smile. Okay. Whatever we are breathing is. I'm not sure what that means. We are actually breathing other things. Whatever we are breathing is. Okay. Then you said, we are starting breakfast with coloured eggs. At lunch, plenty of people except me eat feshich. It's a kind of salted and dried fish. Okay, so we start breakfast. Not we are starting, because you're not doing it, but it's what you usually do. Oh, I did a whole session on this last night with somebody who couldn't get the difference between what they usually do and what they were doing at that time. It was good fun. We did it in Kitely. If anybody noticed a couple of avatars walking around Kitely going, I am doing, I usually do, it was us, okay? So you'd say, we usually start with breakfast, or we usually start breakfast with coloured eggs. At lunch, plenty of people, and then you put comma, not me, comma, eat feshich. It's a kind of salted and dried fish, or dried and salted fish, we'd normally say. Okay, sounds horrible. I think I'd be with you not eating that, Aladdin. And kindly put in a link to that one. It does sound horrible still. Because this tradition came from ancient Egyptian, I wear this custom. Okay, then you'd say, because this tradition came from ancient Egypt, I wear this costume. I think that's what you meant, not this custom. You wear a costume, you carry out a custom, okay? And Aladdin, if you could take a photo of you in that costume, I would love it. Zeb then said, colour paints and brushes at the ready. And you? Are you ready to enter an egg painting competition with me for celebrating Sham el-Nassim, Aladdin? So you wouldn't say colour paints, you'd just say paints. Paints by their nature are coloured, okay? So paints and brushes at the ready. And hey, why don't we have an egg painting competition? You can paint eggs in Second Life, you know. You can in Kitely as well. I've got some eggs. Maybe we should do that. You just need to create some pictures. So create some pictures, JPEGs, under 1024 in size. Bring them with you into Kitely, and we'll have an egg painting competition before Easter, okay? So, what do you wear, Aladdin? Asked Zeb. You'll turn yourself into King Tut? Aladdin then said, I wrote a comment here, where it is. Okay, you'd say, I wrote a comment here, where is it? Yeah, sometimes comments seem to go astray, I'm afraid, so it might turn up again. I wrote a comment earlier to say, good morning everyone, and it didn't turn up, but it's probably there now. Bummer, said Zeb. Same player. Play again, Aladdin? And then Aladdin said, indeed, I'm joking, Zeb. I'm not wearing that, I'm wearing this, lol. Again, not I'm not wearing it. We know you're not wearing it because it's not that celebration yet. It's not that festivity. So I don't wear that because it's what you usually do. I wear this. And yet again, Aladdin, photographs. We need photographs. Okay, so I also replied to the original spring comment. Leica and I are looking forward to it. And we really are looking forward to a nice spring I know we haven't had a harsh winter this year, but it's been miserable, and especially in England. We need some nice weather now, please, nature, Mother Nature. Can we have some nice weather, please? And so far, it's looking good. So I hope wherever you are, you're enjoying your spring. I hope you're looking forward to some celebrations. I'm looking forward to pancakes tonight, as are some of the other members of the forum who are going to add coconut to theirs. Sorry, guys, I'm not joining you in that, but I will enjoy. I will join you in making pancakes. And photos, everyone. Photos. Stick them on Flickr, stick them in photo bucket and share them on the forum. It's all good. And that's it for this week. We've just managed to fit it in the time, in the 45 minutes. So if you've been listening to this, I hope you enjoyed it. There'll be another one next week, and then there will be a break, okay, because I'm going to be going away for our spring break. I might try to, as I did before, make the recording anyway, but I can't promise because I've no idea where, what kind of network connection I'm going to have where we're going, okay? This is a new territory for me, so I can't plan anything. Keep an eye on the forum. Keep an eye on the calendar, and you'll see when we're on our break. Doesn't mean you have to stop doing stuff. Just because I'm on holiday doesn't mean you can take a break. And I'm hoping that Amatsu will be around to keep you all entertained, and Marion as well. Okay? So, thank you for listening, and just get out there, practice your English, do stuff that's, see things that inspire you and write about them, not just here, but all over the internet. Get out there, you'll meet more people, and you'll get those conversations going. And that's the only way you'll really get your brain to take English seriously for you, if you use it. And whilst you're doing it, just be nice, be kind, and don't forget, if you can't be good, don't get caught. Bye.